go ahead.
Yeah.
When we left yesterday, it was 66 when we left. Yes.
Oh boy, where were you?
Lexington.
Okay.
It was 85 when I left Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, it came home to -20, it was great.
You bring that weather back with you?
Oh my gosh, it was
It makes
cold.
you appreciate those
Oh,
times going.
so cold. And I'm like, what am I doing? And the kids, you know, thought they should just fly in shorts.
No.
That's what he always says to me. What are you doing here? Cat your tongue?
I had one of those, but it wouldn't come up.
Oh, no.
I can get rid of it, I'm sure enough, man. Sit on the floor.
Isn't that annoying? Every time doesn't do it at home. You know, I'll change my password every time I open this up in here.
Probably should talk to
I can go for a month without at home, but
I can talk to IT about it.
I'll change it quick and then.
How you doing, Marty?
The thing is, you run out of passwords, right?
Well, yeah.
Ones you can remember.
That's
That's the
true.
thing. That's what happened to me the last time.
I can ask him tomorrow. Nick isn't here today. I can ask him tomorrow. Did you get my email?
I don't know. Which one?
You should be sitting down when you read it.
Are you
I
sitting
got it
down?
now.
Till you spot, when you're ready?
They did intro bill for now.
Okay.
Did you read it all?
Okay, so in turn,
For now, actually, this is the county administrator, he left too, a half ago, so they're kind of searching for that right now, they signed it.
okay, well, that helps.
So, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I paid for it, and
Yeah.
stuff, I can get it anyway, and Sean's really good at it.
Well, good, good.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
20 years.
Oh, wow. So you-
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
So I called Rich right away and he let Bill know.
Marty?
You got any other county ones you're working on right
What was that?
I gotta write it down, cause I don't.
It's not coming for us at all. I'm not sure why Bill is.
Quite a bit of Wazaki, but it's all just, you know, they just, oh, X number a
It's
year.
not like we can't change our mind. You
Yeah.
guys already decided.
But you think for consulting stuff?
No,
Well, I don't know. I haven't
They-
seen it.
There's a county structure.
Oh.
Study.
Just wants to finish it off.
Dodge, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's on North Shore.
Okay. So I.
Why is
That's
it
all.
going?
That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all county that way.
Yeah, Myers.
Right, when it sounds like it'll be the end of the month, and then Rich just sent an email saying that
Yeah, there's
he's
so
gonna
much.
start doing
Yeah.
Where they,
this
where they rent, oh, yeah.
using the Mexican description
Exactly.
rather than the CSM.
Yeah, it's nonstop what you're doing, she'll walk a show.
So why would
You know,
you
'cause they're right there.
Because they won't
Yeah.
sign off on it until they have their.
Shell out for them, they had.
We did a project
Right, I know, I know.
What was it last?
in Michigan, which is Detroit. Now we're in Ohio, it's, you know,
Just like that.
you do anything fairly good, then your name kind of floats with.
It is.
It's 3:00, we'll call the ad hoc construction committee in order. Let's see, open ad hoc construction committee. Let's see, call to order. Approve approval of the minutes for December 11th, 2024.
Move to approve the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Coggins to approve the minutes, is there a second?
Second.
Second by, Mr. Moore. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. 3, discussion possible motion. Introductions, we'll introduce ourselves and kind of get to know each other. I'm John Gale, the board chairman.
I'm Terry Webber, County Board Supervisor.
Tom Kudo, County Board Supervisor.
Brian Coggins, Supervisor.
John Moore, supervisor.
John Wallen, oh, sorry.
Joseph Ferguson, term commissioner, and Sean Paul. I'm Bill Carey, I'm working with the highway department, which is a consultant.
That's Ms. Meyer, county clerk, and this is Mrs. Heath.
Great.
AC.
John Wallen, Community Architects, thanks for having us back here, so.
Alright, well, let's see, goals and expectations.
So if you want me to jump in, what I was hoping up today is really, I didn't come with any prepared things and really looking for your feedback. So I know exactly the process you wanna follow, who I can talk to, how you want that path to go. Bottom line is we wanna find out everything we need to find out to get the design going. So you kinda gotta give me the avenues and how I do that, if it's to the commissioner, I guess I'm looking for that roadmap, so I follow it, and then how often you wanna meet back at this committee, do you want me to create milestones, or do you have a set process in your head you think you wanna hit? So I'll throw that out there and then feedback of what you guys say. Well, and I can rephrase it, I mean, have you guys been through a construction project that you say, we definitely don't wanna do it this way? Otherwise, I can lay it out there what I would hope to do, but I wanna make sure it meets your expectations.
We have been down somewhat of a construction issue
Okay.
process already.
Yeah.
And have said the no's and paper back and
Yeah.
stuff to that nature.
Yeah,
So,
is that with the piece that you started with for the jail?
yeah,
Yeah, okay, okay.
so excluding that, this is gonna be kind of different ground for us. As far as the expectation for the shop, that would be more or less like Justin to kind of lay it out.
Mhm.
And Bill to what they want and what they need,
Okay,
and basically what you want and what you need, nothing more.
yep, yeah,
So that's where those two would come in handy, because they're out there, they deal with that every day, they know more experience on that part of it.
okay. So working the documents like I need, I'd like to, I'm not sure exactly what Woldall did to put together the plan, but I don't wanna recreate that. I did get their document, which doesn't really give me besides some squares, okay? Ideally, what I'm looking for is all your inventory that's gonna be in that building, every asset and all vehicles. We'll do the measuring, we'll do all that piece of it, get it on a document, and then we'll sit down with you guys to where they fit in the stalls. So, to me, if there's a document, usually there's an Excel, like, for accounting purposes, you keep track of, the year, the miles of it. You can give me however raw format you have it, and then I'll back it into a floor plan. We essentially would sit and meet with the group over here to kinda highlight, what they want, how they want that building, and then bring that back, how often you guys want it. I would think we'd get it to a certain level, and with a high level, budget next to it, and then bring it back to the committee for your, information purposes to make sure, yep, you're on the right track, or John, get back to it, and redo it. So I guess that's my hope. And really, we wanna do it at a rapid turnaround, so we would literally see every week, every 2 weeks that we're providing documents back and forth. I wanna fully understand, cause some of the documents were, addition to total remodel, and then it looked like there was a scoring sheet to try to determine what happened over there. And I guess didn't know who was involved with deeming that information. You know, okay, okay. So I guess I would just tell you, you give me that, we'll tour the facility, and we literally start over.
Yeah, we create a list of what the expectations are, what
Yeah.
would go into that part of the building,
Okay.
they could then send it out to you.
Yeah, okay, cause ideally that's gonna be the big piece, like we said in the presentation, we are customizing this to you, so we don't just have a, you know, X square foot footprint, that's it, this is what, not gonna be what it is. So really, we'll get to the bottom of what you need over there.
We have some idea based on what they had for a plan.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know.
We got a good starting point, but what I'm saying is, I don't have a plan that we can throw it here and say, here's the stalls, here's the bay, here's our wash bay, you know. I know there's things we wanna keep in play for the future, like with the forestry and like, are those wishes, if we could get them to work right away, that we bid them as alternates, or you don't even wanna go there with that kind of stuff?
Forestry ambulance in there?
I'm sorry?
Like having forestry or the
Yeah,
ambulance?
the RFP indicated future expansion for forestry and something with an ambulance parking or something?
So that'd be more or less future, cause what we're looking at is kind of bare minimum right now for our.
Okay,
trucks.
okay, yep, okay, so, we'll wanna still depict that future piece, so structurally, we have it all planned, we know exactly where it's going, power, everything, distribution, so we're planned, so. So, those are the things we'll be working, so, bare minimum, if you get me the information on what you wanna fit in the building, staffing will help, then we go from there. Fuel island set, cause that's new, correct, so we're working on the fuel island. I don't know if there's a current survey of that site. Yeah, after today, you'll have a list, I'll send you this list of things that ideally we'd have. If we don't have a survey, we just have to get a current survey. And with your permission, I'll reach out to Wold to get, we work with Wold on other projects, so they'll share their documents with us, you know, cause I wanna make sure we got the right, boundaries. Who services the building for gas and electric? Is it WPS or we have, I don't know who.
XL.
It's XL
would be
for both?
electric,
Okay,
but it's probably, we energies for gas.
okay. And then, sanitary was city, and then water, both city, okay. And when we say city, Ladysmith,
Mhm.
yep. Okay. And then when we do that asset list, if you can, do you guys know if your asset list literally lists every component, say a skid steer, if it's got 10 buckets and would it get that detailed or no?
I can add the attachments to it, I mean, we got a list, I just got updated, so we got a couple more newer things.
Yeah.
I can update it.
Yep, if you do it, like I said, you don't have to worry about sizes. What we'll do is we'll go through the sizes, the VIN numbers, we'll do that, and then we'll actually sit down with you and review those sizes then. So, the more you can put on the list, the better. And like I said, I really, as long as it's, you know, and it doesn't have to be in any fancy formatting, because we'll switch the formatting and rework it, so however you can get it to us. And then what I would say is anything you know that's in a capital improvement to be replaced or in addition to the fleet, just give us that forecast. The wash bay piece that was talked about, I mean, ideally you want a dedicated wash, but start thinking about the operations when individuals come back from being out on the road on how you can wash multiple vehicles at one time.
Yeah, so there's actually done some tours of other facilities.
Okay.
And nice thing I've seen, they have water lines run to like every bay or stall where a vehicle parked for cardinals, so you
Yep.
could rinse down.
Okay.
Just for bare minimum.
Yep, and that, the reason I throw that out is because if you're gonna do that, we're just gonna have to get a game plan, like 3 or 4 or 5 units, because the exhaust will be different. And that exhaust, we can put it on a drive to ramp it up, because otherwise your building will just you'll get humidity crazy, and you won't be able to control, so, and that's why I was leaving, so you've got it,
So you said they put a faucet in every bay?
Well, not every bay, but they kinda stagger, so they hook up.
typically we'll do 50-foot reels, air and water, and that'll cover two trucks,
Okay.
2 bays, so, you know, every, yeah.
Split water
Yep.
between the two.
And we'll work with, you know, 'cause we'll put the circumferences on there, because it's not just getting to the truck, it's wash the floor properly, you know, to kinda clean it down properly. Any things you've seen on the tours that you think you'd like, you know, if you got photos or anything, we can share that when we need to.
Yeah, I got some.
You know, any inventory that way helps too. Clearances we'll work through. I didn't see what the fuel island, do you have depth at the fuel island? Okay, you're just doing it inside the building or
Yeah,
something?
bulk tank
Okay,
inside the shop.
like a tote? Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't know how much the group here wants me to get into detail like that, or this is what we'd be pulling out when we meet and then putting on the plans. So I guess my goal from you is to find out the dialogue, how you want us to keep you guys informed and meet with the group.
Well, it sounds like you need to get a bunch of information from Justin.
Yep.
To formulate your plan, how you're gonna lay it out.
That's correct.
So, I mean, it was my understanding then that, like on this picture, on one of the handouts that we got from Ashley, we're going with phase 1 at this point. Is that correct?
Correct.
The garage.
I believe it's a 20,000, is it 12 or 20 now? 20,000 square foot
24.
addition.
So what I was wondering is that, would it be more economical for us to make it a little bigger to accommodate ambulances in that at this time, or should we wait?
We will plan that out. We'll get with Justin and Bill and do this is the bare minimum. What I'm gonna sit here without doing it yet, typically would see is, we actually draw that whole thing, and we bid it as an alternate. So say if the numbers come in favorably, you know, maybe the alternate, one of the first alternates might be a longer wash bay. You know what I mean, they might be priority things for the highway, but this way, at least you know after bid date what that cost is for even future planning. It's just an exercise the contractor's gonna go through. I'd rather draw it and detail it, then you have it. You know, if we put it, cause otherwise what happens is, say if it's something you're gonna do in 2, 3, whatever, it's gonna cost you that much more to draw it. To me, it's not gonna cost any more for me to draw it, if we draw it together as one package.
Well, the drawings will show the future expansion and
Exactly.
everything, so we can see it laid out.
Yep, and if we think, you know what, we're real close on budget, we think we can get this, we'll draw it and detail it and be an alternate bid. If it's a pipe dream thing, well, it'll just be a dashed line, so we know structurally on that wall where we're gonna tie into, or we need a opening or whatever.
One thing I saw, and I wasn't involved in any of the preliminary drawings, and you probably saw what you guys put in. But it seemed like even the highway side was a little short. I mean, you're gonna do this once in the next 75 years, 80 years, you wanna make sure you do it right, and that storage side looked like it was, you know, slightly shorted as far as the equipment. I know that's a part of what we'll, you know, I guess that workout will get to you as far as the vehicle side, but it looked like, there's just primary things you wanna get in there, you don't wanna miss it, you only do this once every 75 or 100 years, you wanna make sure what goes inside, and the building is set up right. And I think in the preliminary drawings I saw, it seemed like the equipment I know already might be in there enough, that maybe it was a little short, but that's something
Yeah.
we'll share, the equipment, you know, should typically go inside in a highway facility, that heating part of the building. A lot of the heavy equipment and other odds and ends, and some trucks can go in a cold storage building like that, but there are primary trucks that, you know, should be in that part of the building that, so we'll go through and send it to you, and then we'll see how that falls out then.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we came up with 24,000 square feet.
That just came from Samuel's.
Yeah,
So
that
I
was-
remember,
that
they
was
just
their-
shot that out and said, you know,
Yeah,
that was their best
Well,
guess for.
I think that was just probably a number for us to start off.
Okay, so, yeah, so we'll start there, like Bill said, it's important, our goal is we'll ramp it all up, cause as we're looking at the vehicles, we're gonna show you that the energy efficiency of gain by getting it inside, so you're not cleaning it off in the snow, so we'll analyze all those pieces, so. Yeah, so, really, until we get that first crack at all the equipment, I can't tell you what the size is for sure. I know when I studied originally, that's what I said, based on that 24,000, I think budget-wise, you were good. Hopefully this thing isn't growing to 40, you get what I'm saying, cause that's a different animal then. But we'll see where we get.
I've got a question too. So on this one drawing, it shows kind of, and I'm sure it's just an example, or it just kind of gives you an idea.
Are you on these practice? Oh, okay, that's a dynamic, okay.
That one.
Yep.
So, I don't know if this is actually how it's gonna look space-wise. I'm just wondering, do you like provide additional room, like say if somebody has to do some work on their truck?
Oh, yeah, you mean in front of it or back?
Or on the side?
Oh, yeah, we'll analyze that. And a lot of times what we'll do too is, these stalls today might be 18 feet wide, like 2 feet wider. Knowing in the future, if we, 20 years, we gotta start stealing 2 feet from each unit, that'll give us that, cause there's no sense having a stall sit there for 5, we'll use it today, but definitely in front of it and back of it, you wanna make sure you get usable space.
Yeah.
What I always tell people, airspace in a building is cheap. So it's getting the right efficient spans, drive aisle, parking stalls. The mechanical systems, whether I make the building 2-3 feet wide, usually don't change. There's increments of jump up that really changes the mechanical system, so. And then I know from the presentation, we want a huge weight room, workout exercise room. I'm being sarcastic.
Well, I mean, the pool comes first.
No.
The pool.
What I'm getting at is, if there's other, the one thing I did know though is truly sustainability, anything that, if the county does have a sustainability initiative, anything that you wanna see, we'd like to eventually get solar on this bill, if there's anything like that we should know, I just need to know that up front. A lot of that stuff, and if we can secure grants and different things like that, is that something you would wanna do? So I guess I'll start putting together pieces like that, like, if we don't have to spend any additional funds and we get this, would you be open to it?
I would be. I mean,
Well, I could just,
we
'cause
certainly wanna analyze
Yeah.
options that way.
Okay, so we'll start looking at that, we'll get the project, registered and Focus on Energy, they give you a little pot of money back for just going through their program. We'll do all that, documentation, that will require a owner, so is that chair or is that highway? Okay, and,
What is it?
yeah, it, like Focus on Energy, when I fill out the paperwork, I need to give like an owner's, yeah, so we'll do that.
Those two right there,
So-
Chair Caleb and Clerk Meyer are our signers.
And all I would tell you is, they're gonna be 2 quick phone calls within an hour apiece, they do the audit with us. Someone from the county just needs to listen in with that, because but we look at it as free money for the county, because it's our baseline design. And but they do a good audit, because they say, well, why don't you look at this, cause it might help, so they do make you think outside the box on some of the items. And at the end of the day, you'll get a check when the project's completed. Yeah, like I said, they have you sign an agreement, and you're not signing that you have to do anything, because they don't audit it until the end. What they do is they put the money in an account for you, allocate it for you, but at the end of the job, they do an audit, and whatever level you made, they pay you that percent. So you're not even locked into doing the whole thing that you said, so to me, it's a great program to get money towards your project, so. What is the first milestone date we're trying to hit?
Sorry.
what's realistic?
So, I'll lay it out, I guess, I didn't know if there was a, should I back it up from like wanting to be in this building? I mean, what's the driver of the whole process here?
The whole drive of this process, we needed the shed a long time ago.
Okay.
However,
Efficiency,
we're
waste a lot.
updating equipment,
Okay,
a lot of
Yeah.
equipment, and it's going in a $2.95 shed.
yeah.
So, that's what's really kind of pushing this ball too.
Okay,
And room and much more efficiency for working because they unhook the plows and hook the plows now
Yeah.
versus just leaving it hooked up
okay.
and parking. So,
How soon can you break it out?
Well, I think what I would hope we could shoot for is to make sure before next winter, he's in a fully occupied building, new building. I think that's, I'll back the schedule up from there and then see where we fall.
We could do that, we could have that complete by this.
I would.
Fall
mean,
at
it's-
25.
Yeah. The biggest issue in your building should be, electrical gear is the biggest issue still. But I don't think, we're gonna be plenty ahead, you know what I mean, but that would be my driver here, because
That'd be awesome.
if we don't, it's gonna be,
Well, yeah.
the turnover for him through winter is gonna be chaos.
yeah. No, I agree.
So, that would be my driver, what I would do, is, I'll lay the schedule out based on that,
I would, yeah.
Okay.
you know? And we might just look at it and say, you know what, it's unrealistic, so, help me with the relationship between the county and Ladysmith. So, do all approvals, site plan review, architect, have to go through Ladysmith? Or do you guys waive, I mean, is there a joint?
Can you look at me for that one?
And I
Yes.
could contact
Yep.
them.
I think so.
Yep, so we would need to work with their, conveniently enough, their public works director is Kurt Gorsinger, and he sits on
Oh.
our board.
Okay,
But
okay.
yes, we would have to work in tandem with approvals from the city.
Okay, so I will put that, I'll get a hold of them, and I'll put that in the schedule as milestone dates.
Kurt's pretty easy to work with.
That-
He's a
Kurt
good
Gorsinger,
guy.
that's
Is that-
easy, right?
Oh, yeah, but they must have a zoning department, or,
That is
Oh,
Kurt,
through public works.
that's Kurt and Doug.
oh, I got
Yep,
it,
and
okay,
so Kurt is who I worked with on the wetland question.
gotcha,
Yep, so
Okay.
he'll be a really good resource for you guys.
okay.
Just the other thing for this committee to keep in mind is that we don't have this money just sitting around, so we'll have to go through the bonding process again, which is involved. So that might impact the timeline as
Yeah.
well.
I would think we could, who's your bond,
Baird.
Bear, okay, we work with them on.
Yep, and Justin is on notice that we're probably gonna be
Okay.
doing this, but we don't have a finance director.
Okay,
So again, just
okay.
some of our local, things to work through.
I think what we'll do is, once we get that schedule, you'll help me ping where that needs to go in there, and, you know, cause a lot of times they're not selling, you know, you'll get it all ready, they're not even selling these bonds until literally days after we open bid.
Mhm.
So as
Yep.
long as you kinda know that, I'm assuming that's the, you know, you'll be able to, through him, have an estimate of your rates and all that, so.
Yep.
So, okay.
Mhm.
The other big thing is any other historical data on that site. Old buildings, just, you know, foundations, anything that you know that ever existed there, we'd wanna know. And we'll try to go back in old photographs and look, just cause depending on where we dig, we wanna factor in the worst case scenario. So say if there's a building that was to the north, we tell them that the footings are still there, so when they bid, they assume the worst in their bid, otherwise you'll get the worst afterwards. So stuff like that, we start thinking about if anybody, how long has the previous commissioner been gone? Or how long, I don't know the position changes, I guess, you know, sometimes there's been a commissioner, oh, he was there for 47 years. Okay, no, okay, alright. So whoever would be the individual that know a lot of historical data of that site would be helpful just to brainstorm about too.
They're dead.
Yeah, that's not dead.
Who'd be the next one that's
The nice thing is era photos, there's so many, we can usually go back pretty far.
Beforehand, I don't know.
Phil Motwell.
Who?
Phil Motwell. Actually, Nancy. Nancy might be the one.
Tom Regal,
Tom Ringo would know a lot. Absolutely would.
So,
he started working in.
reach out to them and,
70s.
reach out to them, because like I said, a lot of that's valuable stuff. I mean, the nice thing is you pull the fuel, you've addressed that, I'm assuming they were old were they blow ground tanks?
The original, yeah, it was in a different location.
Okay, so you don't even have that issue there. I see the buses, transit bills there.
Yep.
Is that a county? I didn't pay attention, I think it was a yellow school bus that I saw there. No, no, it was a little transit bus, that's county. Anybody else? Okay,
I think everybody feels
Yeah,
there.
the city does, townships do.
Sheriff.
Okay.
Sheriff.
okay.
The city does too.
The city, the streets department and the water department does.
Oh, I didn't know.
Where do they all wash? Their vehicles.
Where,
Not highway vehicles, all these other people.
city washes their own, I don't know.
They
where
got a
the
garage,
sheriff's-
city garage?
Where does the sheriff's go to, where do they go, you know?
Quick Trip.
Oh, so they got a contract.
Yeah, we're paying for a lot of car washes right now, yeah.
They got a contract.
Are you looking at doing a wash thing in this facility, or?
Well, that's where my mind's going, Bill, because, and the reason I throw that out there is because we could run the assets of doing an auto wash, which is a maintenance wash, but there again, in this type of weather, you know, if you could build that wash out, it's gonna be a third of what you're paying over there.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can open up that to the police and you can make it as a revenue piece, I just throw those ideas out there that, as we're looking at this, we'll think about it.
Well, yeah, it's a very good thought,
Okay.
That's definitely an idea.
Okay,
Cause you can offset that cost somewhere,
yeah,
that's one of them.
Yeah.
Especially in winter time.
well, it's even Justin, I mean, a 3-minute wash compared to a half hour, you still gotta always wash good later, but I mean, it saves everybody time. Okay, well, that's good to know, okay.
Especially we only got, what, 2 car washes in this town, right?
Mhm.
And I sat in line for one,
Usually there's
45 minutes.
only one working at a
Quick,
time.
quick trip was gone all last week.
Depends on who's got the ball that week.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Interesting. So your county board meetings are, what, once a month or how?
The fourth Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m.
If we do a board update, obviously you guys make up the board. I guess you'll have to help me plug in where we'd wanna give that update, or maybe, you know, 'cause even though you guys could help present it, I'd like to be there, so when I do
Oh,
the
yeah.
schedule, I'll kind of pick that, but don't assume I pick it, I just like to do it upfront and early, like, maybe after our second meeting, do a quick board update, just to let everybody know where we're at.
Absolutely.
Okay,
We're gonna keep this board well informed all the way through this.
so I think that'll be helpful. Let's see. And then this committee is just set up for this, so you don't have set meetings unless we set them, right? Or they do it- okay.
Correct.
Is there a preferable date for this meeting? Day of the week?
Second week for me, I kinda leave open for my personal business wise, so first, third, fourth week,
Okay, and in this time, the best, or it can be later, I mean, it can be later for me if it works
Unless
for
you
you.
wanna go
Whatever-
later, Brian,
I-
it's up to you.
If whatever works best, I don't wanna put you guys,
Well, he works and I work too.
I can make 3 work, 4's nicer, but 3.
If you wanna go 4, Brian, you can go 4. I have no issues with it because then I can also work myself to get maybe 3 hours in a day.
I don't see our meetings here ever taking more than an hour. Cause our work will be done and it's really just bringing you guys back into speed, so I wouldn't, if we're spending more than an hour, we've done something wrong, so, but. My goal is I'd be giving Ashley the information, she'd send it out ahead of time, so you guys have time to look at it, and we can cruise through it, so. It's really you guys telling me what works.
That works way better for
If you
me.
wanna switch it to 4, we'll switch it to 4. I'm good with
Is
that.
that okay with-
Is everybody else doing it?
Depends on the day
Yeah,
with the other meetings.
Right, we'll have to work according to
Right.
those.
Right.
I will throw it on there, and we'll just say between 2 and 4, and then we can pick and choose based on what
Yep.
month we're in, what it needs to be, and you
I'll
guys can
make
decide.
whatever work, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Okay, so it really depends on other days of the meeting, okay.
Yeah, some of our meetings meet around that 3 and 4 mark too,
Okay.
in this room.
In this, okay. Do they primarily meet on Monday, a certain day of the week?
No, they're all
All of it.
Tuesday, Monday.
We can-
Most meetings are not on Monday.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say Monday afternoon would work really well, cause all we have Monday mornings are highway.
Okay, I selfishly prefer the Monday, just cause that's the cleanest in my schedule, but that's,
I'm good with that work.
okay, then we're gonna keep them Mondays and we'll determine whether it's 3 or 4. Are there county approvals? Besides board approval, like zoning type things that need to go into the plan?
It depends what we're gonna be doing, so most of what's gonna come up is probably going to be city
Okay.
approval. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, Yvonne and Nick, we can always, invite them to a meeting as well,
Yeah, I
or-
think once we get a site plan.
Yep.
We can throw it up to everybody to see and then kinda go from there. Just as I'm thinking into the cost estimates, but is the county, it's tax exempt, right, like every county, but you don't have a union, prevailing wage that you have to follow, right, it's just open market bid?
Open bid.
So, in the RFP, I don't know if it specifically picked what avenue you were gonna do, like construction manager or design, build, bid?
That's still to be
Design,
determined.
bid, build,
Yep.
right, that's what you prefer?
No, that's still to be determined, so
Okay.
we did go with, the construction manager for the jail version of it, and I think that's what we would stick with for the highway shop, but I
Okay,
don't know, that's.
let me
what
throw
we
out my 2 cents, the cost estimate will be more if it's construction manager.
So you recommend.
I'm gonna say it that way, I mean, I wanna get the county the most building for its dollar, but when I do the estimate, and I know you have a construction manager, you'll get less building for your dollar.
How much extra work does that put on the county? Not
The way
having-
we run it, none.
Not having a construction,
No.
okay, cause I've heard from other administrators going without a construction manager turned into a nightmare.
I don't know how to say that. That's our profession, my profession, not doing their job that you hired them to do.
Okay.
I can get off doing less work by telling you about construction manager. But I gave you a service, you're getting our service, and I don't see a need for it. All I ask is, you need somebody present at a monthly meeting, or I guess, Bill, do you know your role? I guess maybe I should
I was just gonna
understand the
mention the
roles.
fact that previous county I worked in, John actually did do a couple of buildings in it wasn't our main facility, but 2 of our pretty large satellite sites, and in both cases, worked with John, we had 0 issues, we had 0 change orders, we had 0, worked fine, worked with John directly on projects, so just to back up what he's gonna say here.
Yes, and so if you're gonna have owners rep, like, to me, you definitely then don't need it. But just don't answer the question tonight, I'm just throwing it out there, cause I'm not out to kibosh it. I just need to know when it comes to the estimate. Cause the estimate makes a difference. And I can give you a little bit of my theory why it costs more, if you want. Construction manager, when they do it, okay, they bid out all the sections. So you do get competitive bids on the sections, okay? But first of all, only so many firms will bid to that construction manager. They don't like them, or they don't, whatever. So their path to bids are limited. Where you open it up to the market, you'll have 10 GCs, those 10 GCs have 10 electrical contractors, your stack of bids is this much more. So it's nothing against the construction it's the process, in my opinion, that you just get less competitive bids. Okay?
Our main facility, we had the same issue with having a gym on our main facility, and multiple items had no bids or one bid for the same reason, I think, cause we actually built our main facility at Jefferson.
I just built, 8 months ago, did $100 million project, and we had one bid on our items, $100 million. So, I even proved this, and I get that, we're getting off that. I built 2 almost identical facilities within 2 months of each other. One went construction manager, and one went GC. CM was 10 million, the GC one was 8 million. The buildings were identical.
I like this pile.
Yeah,
So I just,
20%.
I'm just being honest with you, it's not a process you can go with on everything, because certain jobs, you're jail. There's certain jobs that, you know what, you want a different level of commitment. The reason I ask is because if you are going that way, they need to be here early. Because to get the true value out of a construction manager, you don't bring them in at the same time you bring a GC. If they're not brought in within a month, you wasted their value anyways. So, I just throw that out there. It's a timing that makes a difference. And if you wanna go down the road, there's other GCs that I've seen that have worked it, that really then help kind of balance those two piles too. But, throw it out there to think about. And that's literally just my life of doing this business and seeing what's happened to, you know, on buildings. This is not a complicated building that you need that type of process.
That's what it's here.
Yeah, but if it truly was a staffing reason, you definitely don't need it. You definitely don't. But I don't wanna overrule anybody else's, you know, I'll state the same thing, you know, but there again, if you get a GC, I just want them to get on board sooner so we can take advantage of their expertise and their things to truly help balance those pots out. And if it's just a GC that's a paper pusher, you know, I mean, it doesn't help. We want somebody that truly has construction, also construction teams within their construction business.
And,
Yeah, you know, whether they're carpenters or, you know, otherwise you're not even gaining any value out of it. So. But we got time for that. That is really my thoughts. I mean, I have enough now to work with the team, get running and get a schedule out.
I have a question on that site plan though. Have we decided for sure where this building that we're starting and adding on to hopefully in the future, where this is going on that lot?
Not yet.
Has that been decided?
No.
I don't think it's been decided concrete. I think it's been recommended, where they thought maybe that far corner, but.
On the south side of the
Yeah,
lot for you?
southwest of that
Southwest.
corner, but that might change based on how they look at things.
Yeah, I'd really like to walk the building and get everybody's pros and cons, just cause, you know, just there's some value over there, we just gotta make sure see if we can take advantage of it or not, you know. There again, we don't wanna save something to to save $20, you know what I mean, you gotta make sure we're saving something that makes sense.
Oh, right, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably have more questions once you come back with
Yeah.
a layout plan. I think we're all kind of just don't know where to go from.
No, this is all I needed for today, literally, like, I wanted to get a game plan, who my contacts were, I'll get a list of items that I need for us to get rolling. We're gonna call it a high-level program plan, and then once we get everybody's thumbs up on it, you'll see the plan. I'll be able to log in, bring up videos of what it looks like, so you'll have a good understanding of what's happening there. We literally will do walkthroughs and fly-throughs, so you know exactly, what to tell other board members or whatever, so, everybody's clear what's going on that site.
Yeah, and like I said, Justin, you're gonna be your best guys to talk to.
Perfect.
Because they work with it every day, they're out there every day, they know the needs, they know what the wants are, and
Perfect.
work efficient for them. So,
Didn't you mention something, somebody mentioned about actually seeing some of the buildings and tours?
Yeah, and we could set up a milestone tours if there's stuff you guys wanna see.
what's your closest building?
How far is Oshkosh?
That's quite a ways.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I live a lot farther south. That's quite a ways, what about, Burnett County?
That's
Quite
closer.
It's closer.
Yep.
How far?
Hour and a half.
Oh, Burnett County, we could see everything at Burnett County. And that building's
15,
eight, I lost track. It's new enough to see new features and new enough to see things that they do differently and learn, that's a full highway forestry shop. But that would be a good one to see.
What city's that?
Siren.
Oh, Siren.
Siren, yep. Still have the, tornado flying boat through the side of the building up there. You said that hour, 15 minutes?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Yeah, that's good, when it's Superior,
That's quite.
2.5.
okay, then you'll see everything in Burnett, and then I'll find out if there's other shops that we haven't done, cause we'll tour, we don't have to just tour ours, we can tour anybody's. Those are the closest ones. And then what I would say is that if anybody is in like the Oshkosh area, I can get you in there anytime, you know what I mean, someone wanted to stop by, or Bill and, we could. There we did 3 different ones, cause we did separate shops for highway, separate shops for forestry, parks, separate shop for water, so there's multiple stuff to see there. Oh, I know what I did. What does the, sheriff do for impound? Do they have an impound lot?
Yeah.
Well, no, the only reason I say is a lot of times we'll factor that into these buildings, and they're hidden in the back, I just throw it out
That's probably
there.
not a bad idea.
That would be a great idea.
I just throw it out there for a conversation, just because there's potential funding money we can get and.
Right, and so that's why the RFP said that we would like to do like master planning on
Yeah.
this site, because we have an ambulance that we need storage for, we have a medical examiner vehicle, our forestry garage is overflowing, we need a space for sheriff storage, we have, if you wanna do a ton of alts, we have lots of needs here in Rusk County.
I will go through all that, do you, medical examiner work at the hospital?
Nope, and her vehicle is constantly parked in an outdoor parking lot here, so if she gets a call, she needs to come like dead of winter, start it,
Yeah.
hope the battery works.
Yeah, but where does she have, is there a more here, or?
No, if we need autopsies, we ship to Ramsey County.
Oh, you don't, okay,
No.
okay, and then, you said forestry, right?
Forestry's exploding out of their garage.
So
yes.
is forestry managed by who? Who, is there a director, I mean, what forestry?
Yep, a forest administrator.
Okay, so I mean, however we wanna get them involved, I do need to hear all their stuff.
Absolutely, yep.
Okay,
And our ambulance director, I think, would be great for you to talk to as
Okay.
well.
yeah, so we'll make a list and we'll just make sure we get to them all.
Great.
So you don't wanna do a full autopsy suite.
No.
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 We're in the middle of doing one right now, that's why. Medical ambulance, highway,
Sure.
mean, if anything, you can put this all together and it would show us future plans to add on to this as
Yeah.
we go along, instead of starting all
Oh.
over again.
That's what I wanna do. The last thing you wanna do is all of a sudden something come up, in 10 years you do this, and the best spot is right here, but the wall structure you can't take.
Right.
We wanna try to complete the puzzle, so you're ready to go anytime for all these pieces.
Well, I think that's the objective of this committee here, is we kinda hit a brick wall now, based on what we have,
Yeah,
from not being pre-planned years ago to move us forward.
okay,
So, the objective here, if I'm drawing correctly, is to build this building accordingly to add on from here on in, years out. So that way we don't hit this brick wall again at a standpoint like we are now.
Well, it's having a master plan.
Okay, I was just saying it wrongly.
yeah, you got it, no, you're good, and that's what I like to do, so.
So, that's kind of the idea.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know if anybody else got any other questions, just one?
Next meeting?
What?
Next
That
meeting?
depends on how fast you can
I
put all
would,
this together.
I'm shooting, let me discuss with Justin and Bill, and I'll throw out some dates, yeah. I'm hoping not to go more than 2-3 weeks. I'll be
Oh,
up
okay.
here before then with these guys.
So you wanna meet in February again?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we wanna truly get this thing on the stream, we wanna keep moving the ball.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tentatively, maybe the 24th?
Yeah, we could pencil that down. Would that work?
Let's see what day that falls.
The last Monday?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah, because next day is coming up, so.
Let's put that down, and we wanna do it, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock on that day.
It's your call, Brian. It's your call.
Or work.
Let's go with 4.
All right.
4 o'clock it is. I aim to accommodate.
Makes my day much easier, that's for sure.
Absolutely, if we can do that, and it works out for everybody, great.
During those meetings, am I able to, do I wire it? I can't remember how I couldn't have hooked to the screen before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We
So, actually, starting in March, we'll be streaming these up there, so then I'll send you the Teams link and you can just
Oh,
cancel your
perfect,
screen.
okay, cause then I can have other individuals help run. The video and stuff's easier to run directly from our office, but I can log in and bring it up and then. I don't even wanna, we just got in, but I don't wanna talk about getting rid of it, but it's.
Oh, I was backing up.
They all
It was
go,
like,
they all
wait
go
a minute, I
fast,
thought
so
we already
it's,
did
yeah.
January. Yeah, it's already flying by. All right, well, if anybody else got anything else to add, or question wise, or? Bill, Justin, anything?
Just wait for him to reach out to us and we'll discuss a lot more.
Okay. Otherwise, any other announcements? We already set the date, motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Motion by Mr. Moore, second. I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming over.
Oh, yeah.
Look very forward to working with this. Hopefully get something done.
Oh, wait.
But yeah, reach out to either Justin or them or myself, or whoever.
John Walt is here for your computer.
This John.
Oh, this computer, I was
okay.
gonna say, all right.
Too many Johns.
Yeah, yeah.
John.
Can't have enough.
How are you? Yeah.
Well, our fault, everybody else
Anyway,
got going.
every time I, come into this room, my computer turns on.
Okay.
Yes, this is mine, Marty.
At home, it's never.
No, it's just in limbo right now.
Why do we have to change this?
It should be only every 6 weeks. a little separate.
Wait,
But
it's
can
like
any of this exist?
Oh, if there's fiber, you mean?
Yeah, well, this is.
So no matter what, we've gotta change.
Okay, but the main building, like with offices and stuff, get rid of it. Okay, still cleaned out, okay. That's not what we assumed, I just wanted, someone walked in the front.
Some people would just-
That's as far as I got.
Thank you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could.
You're not good.
So they can't be.
Okay, sounds good. Yep, good to see ya.
You need my laptop?
May not happen at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mark? It's over, you can go home now. Back to bed.
I could do that before
This
you.
is the state one, right?
I will, take it off, yep.
Yeah.
I come up with a new one, cause I knew I'd have to change it when I got here.
We need to swing up your way though, to do it.
Same time.
Similar, okay.
That would be so awesome.
That'd be great.
Take the password sticker off, it will be okay. Anything else, any other issues?
I
watched it.
My wife was on too, she got kicked off the other time.
Yeah.
So I talked to her, she was gonna set the-
Do I change it for the last time today?
Should be able to, yep.
Alright.
He's the man.
I tried.
But hopefully now we can settle down and we'll get this work out, settle it down.
Alright, well, yeah, if you- really, as soon as you get the info to me, I'll just do a high level program plan.
What I'll do is just, I think we should wait till the new sheriff comes in and says, does that make sense?
Hey, guys.
See you, John, thanks.
Okay, that's a good idea. Okay.
That way I'll clean up the other pond. Give you a list of trucks, it'll be.
Okay.
But what I'm getting at is, I mean, we're right up here. I think we need to, like, try to do these two projects, maybe it's one of
That's
the big
kind of
bonds,
named,
yeah, that's, okay, but I just wondered.
Yeah, so pretty standard, okay.
And some
But you have a
people
plan
rent
for
it.
you get your.
I don't mind it. Some
Well,
people not, because they gotta
Yeah, you have a plan,
have
okay.
discussions before they
Okay.
go, which I agree with.
I agree with that too, but,
Well, good, yeah, give me the info, we'll,
but I don't know.
and then, will you reach out to Forrest?
Can we sell the public
Kind of
on
merge stuff?
41
Cause in tandem, I'd like to,
between the two?
yeah,
See,
yeah.
I mean,
With the size and all that,
Yeah.
vehicles looking like.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I, no, you're not,
Mhm.
probably it's gonna be a hard sell to
Well,
the
they put
public,
it at now.
but
Now look at it this way, could we,
They're down here.
sell them on a $10 million, highway facility? Absolutely.
yeah, but the other thing is.
Yes.
Okay, so where you gonna find the money, you know what's gonna happen if you don't do something about your jail.
Yeah.
Your jail expenses.
Okay.
Well, we're good for bonding,
Oh, okay.
up to, I think it's 40, I wanna say 45.
Oh, so you meet again.
That's why I was trying to wrap
Okay.
Yeah, the two,
the two
no, that,
together.
the two together.
That way we can only, we only have to bond once.
Yeah, well, you,
And not
one of
twice.
your
Well, I gotta double check that, actually, I can't remember the count.
the last one, 18 and 20, what are you, you're under 30.
I have to go back to the RFP. that you're-
32,
Was it
I think it's 32.
So if you put six, you know, and they were talking 6, it's on what's 10, that's, you gotta get the two back.
Right, right.
They do, you know, but it's gonna be a sale.
Okay, yeah,
People don't like it.
yeah, it'll go smooth, it'll be fun.
They don't wanna pay for, paying luxury for.
In the library, that's the biggest thing,
And
is
that's
it's
true.
the inefficiency, our shop has a parking garage, every day they gotta.
There's no
pull
luxury
out
up
for
there.
their shop.
Yeah, so it's not.
They don't need
Yeah, hook up the plows every
It's
single
supposed to
day,
be
it's
smart.
smart, they gotta call in
You go to jail for
5:30.
Yeah, you gotta go
They
get
get out at 6:30 because hook up the plows and all that.
Don't ask me if I wouldn't.
No, I know, I mean.
Yeah.
I will pay for this. I think this will, if I live long enough, this will be the third jail.
Yeah.
Help pay taxes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy, to just start on the path, living like that.
You still want to know there, right?
Yeah.
They know their numbers
They
now.
put a jail in over there where the town hall is.
So, is there certain days you're up here, or what's your?
Yeah, but typically come on Mondays, Mondays.
To at least help start that.
Okay, well,
All right.
and thank you for your.
Absolutely. Good seeing you, Mike. We'll see you
I
again.
got a
Well,
couple
let's-
things I just wanna mention.
Let's
Yep,
shoot
go
for
beat them
that,
guys up there.
because I know,
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Good, comment.
oh, for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the public secretary.
Yeah.
Your facilities, you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're talking about there, you're talking about maybe eventually animals, but what about communications, I didn't hear that part. What about fiber optic
Into the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, we'd have to find out where it's at.
Well, I don't know, is there fiber in that building?
Yeah, well,
I
they
don't know.
have, they ran some when they did the parking lot, they ran it to the building, but
Who ran it? Was that Brightspeed or Charter?
it was, Spectrum, so it wouldn't be Brightspeed.
Charter.
So they're leased
Oh,
fibers.
Charter, yeah, Charter.
Okay, well, what I'm getting at is, there's two companies that can get fiber into that facility. You got Brightspeed and you got Charter,
Okay,
and I know they both come into this building, but I don't know, I just texted somebody to see if Brightspeed has anything in there, and they didn't get back to call. But it's just something, because here's what's happening, it's like, seems like somebody, like they did with the jail now, they got the fine number, they never talked to communications companies.
oh, yeah, no, yeah, we would.
But there is, you can check with Ashley and then
Yeah.
see who's there, see what they got in there, but they should be brought on board.
Okay.
Yeah, cause you're talking, your highway shop, you need high speed, and then for meetings, they talk about virtual access for meetings and all that. It's a thing if it's built into the plan or.
Oh, yeah, no doubt,
Where your
yeah.
communications room was gonna be in that.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, great, thanks. Thank you.
Okay.
You guys handheld radio? CD?
Yeah, in the truck, yeah, you
Yeah.
got 2 ways, yeah.
Oh. And let's- Yeah, because I'm out of town